So I was thinking that I wanted to do the Finish 9 by New Year's challenge, but I also wanted to do, a standard back to the good old project panning sort of videos and do a project 10 pan, and then I decided there's no way I want to keep up with both of those updates at the same time, especially when I do like a bi-weekly every 2-week update for my project pans. So I just decided I would lump it all together and do a project 20 pan. And I have to say, I think it's been back at the very end of 2014, rolled into the beginning of 2015 when I did my last project 20 pan. So overall, I just wanted to give a little disclaimer that some of these products, yeah, some of them, they're almost done, and I don't know, I did roll over a couple products from the Finish 13 by Halloween challenge that just finished up. I just want to do one final push to see if there's anything else that I can finish off before the end of 2016, and then, kind of start fresh in 2017. I will continue this project until I do have 20 items finished though. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and also I'm planning to do updates, like I mentioned, every 2 weeks for you guys. So starting off, I do have quite a decent amount of makeup here. The first two items, they're 2 mini primers, and I just did an inventory last month, and it was definitely a little eye-opening with all these little samples, these deluxe sizes of primers that I have that I've just been accumulating over the past couple months. So I decided to add in two of them to count as one primer. So this is the Dior Dream Skin Capture Total, and you can see on the side here I'm about halfway through this one. I just got my flashlight on my phone and I could see through this product. This one, to begin with, it only has 0.23 fluid ounces, so it really shouldn't take too long to finish off. But I did notice if I wear this one on a consecutive basis, like day after day, I will break out from using this. So I need to space this one out a little bit. And then the other little primer product that I'm tossing in is this Murad Hydrodynamic Quenching Essence. I'm not entirely sure if this is more a primer or just some kind of like a serum-y sort of product. I don't know. I've heard kind of mixed descriptions on this product, but I just put this down before I put down foundation. So to me, that is a primer. So I am right here on this product. So I would like to get this guy out ASAP because I feel the same about this one too. I like the way this one feels, but I feel like if I use it too many days in a row, I start breaking out in the areas that I do use it. So here is product number 1. Then I have a foundation here. This is one of my favorite foundations. I feel like this is a full coverage foundation for me and my standards on foundation coverage levels. So this is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This has an SPF of 15. I'm in shade NW10. I am starting right there on this item, and with the Back to MAC program, I'm not too worried about marking these items up. Generally with like lipsticks and stuff, I try not to mark on those packaging, but I can just get a Q-tip with some alcohol and just smudge this off when I'm done. So there was the foundation for this project. I have a powder that is a rollover from the Finish 13 by Halloween. This is my MAC powder. This is the Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in Light Plus, and generally this is my summer color, but as you can see there, I've hit the pan. I have a decent size of pan in here, and I'm hoping to just get this moved out before the end of the year. Then I have my NARS Laguna bronzer, and I did have this in the Finish 13 by Halloween as well. I did end up repressing this. I have a video on that. I should have it out shortly. I just wanted some other videos to go up first. But this is what Laguna looks like at the moment, and this part up here is where I generally hit my brush into it, so I have hit pan on this since repressing it, and then this part is pretty much right up, it's still pretty full in there from when I repressed it. So this will take me a while. It looks like there's not very much in here, but it'll last a couple weeks. And then I thought if I finish this off early enough, I could toss in my Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer. I've been trying to work on this one a little bit too. This one I like to wear more so in the summertime because I feel like it's just a pinch warmer. But I'm right here at the moment, so technically I'm not adding this in. I'm just saying as soon as I finish that NARS one, I will go on to this one and see what I can do on this before the end of the year. So I have a blush here. This is a Tarte blush too. This is my Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Exposed. I really love this blush. I'm wearing this today. And I've got to say, I feel like I might be repressing this soon because this is where I'm at the moment, and it's really hard for me to get my brush in here and to get an even oh my gosh, I can't talk. With as much pan as is in here at the moment, it's really hard for me to get an even application on my brush without feeling like I'm wasting product, because if I'm swirling my brush around in there, I feel like some powder is flying around. So I think I might be repressing this soon. I'm not quite sure when, but very soon, because I would like to get this used up before the end of the year without damaging my brushes, trying to get all the product out. This is such a pretty blush. It does pull quite rosy on my skin. I think it's just if you're incredibly fair and you have cool to neutral undertones, it's gonna pull a bit rosy. It looks more nude on some other people, but I don't know if you're even gonna be able to see that. But that is Exposed on the back of my hand there. I have another item that was in a project earlier this year. This is from Physicians Formula, and the design on the front, that's from me panning it earlier this year, so kind of just ignore that. But I have repressed this. This is the Physicians Formula Powder Palette, and this is the one in Translucent Pearl. So you can see there's some little flecks of pan showing there, and there's this weird like raised bar in the pan, and I did hit pan on that portion too. But I have this on the face today as well, and it's very thin in here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a massive sizable pan in here before the next update, but I really like this. This one's my favorite highlighter from the drugstore. See if I can give you a little swatch here. So you can see there, you can build it up to where it looks pretty noticeable on the skin, but you can also have it toned down enough to where it's quite subtle, but it just gives a slight glow. So as you can see there, that is a little swatch of it there. This is the L'Oreal Silky Sheer BB Face Lotion. This has an SPF of 30, and generally, so I use this for a couple of different things. So this is what it looks like here. I finished one of these off last year, I believe it was, but I'm almost finished with this one too. I'm down to here in this product, and generally I can just put this, if I'm not wearing makeup for the day, I can just put it all over the face, and it's so incredibly light. It looks really dark in the container. Let me see if I can show you. It's very liquidy, crazy dark, super, super dark, but if you blend it out, it blends right into the skin. It just barely gives the slightest hint of color. So you can see there's just barely any color there, but it does give the SPF of 30. So I feel like this is a great product to have if I put it down before my foundation, if I put it down before powder. Sometimes I'll just put this on the neck area to make sure that everything blends in together, and then I do have sunscreen on my neck, and it doesn't really change or alter the color much at all. As you can see there, it looks pretty much the exact same shade as my skin. For the most part, it just delivered a little bit of a glow. So I have a brow product here from IT Cosmetics. This is the Brow Power Universal Eyebrow Pencil in Universal Taupe, and it's one, I think I got this out of my Ipsy bag, if I'm not mistaken, but it's one that you can scroll up, and then the other side has a spoolie down here, you can see, but that is where I'm starting with this item. So I don't know, I'm a little worried about this one. I'm just gonna keep track of the marking on the cap here. So this one, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth about the color. I feel like this is such a rough product. I feel like I have to just dig it into the eyebrows to get it to show up. So that is Universal Taupe right there. I'm not entirely in love with the shade, but you know, it'll do the job. I put a tinted brow gel over the top of whatever brow pencil I put in anyway, so anyway, there was that one. I have some eye bases here. So starting off, I have the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and this one's just the original version, just a little deluxe size. And I'm down to this part right there. Sometimes I'll put this down before I put any cream bases or cream shadows on my lids. So it just keeps everything in place, keeps everything from creasing. So that is, you know, that's a decent amount of product in there, but I'm crossing my fingers that this one can be finished off before the end of the year, because unless I force myself to use this, I forget to use it. Then I have a Clinique Chubby Stick. This is the shadow tint for eyes in the shade number 1, Bountiful Beige. This is just a little deluxe size item. So what I did, I just scrolled it up in the actual container. So you can see there, that is where I'm at with this product. I'm just gonna keep track of it on the actual cap there. It's easier that way. I'm just gonna put a little bit of clear nail polish over the top of that so it will keep it from smudging off. But here is a swatch of Bountiful Beige right here. I figured I could put down, you know, my eyeshadow primer potion and then put this over the whole lid area and then something else into the crease. So that was Bountiful Beige right there. The other cream shadow that I'm adding in is one of my Maybelline Color Tattoos, and I have the smallest amount of this left. This one's in Bad to the Bronze. And this one's so pretty. I really like this shade of this, and it's going to be really hard for me not to want to repurchase this when I finish this up, but I definitely know that this one can be moved out super fast. There is a little swipe of it on my finger. Let me give you a swatch of this. I was thinking maybe I can even wear this all over the lid and blend it out into the crease, or I can just put this one in the crease area when I wear the Clinique one on the lid. So that is a swatch of Bad to the Bronze. I really like this color. It's very pretty, and if you put it all over the lid, it actually looks like you have more than one shadow on your lid. It looks like you took a lot more time, because where the light hits, it definitely like makes it look lighter, and then in the shadows and the creases and everything, it looks a little bit darker. So it's actually pretty cool. I like this product a lot. That's why I said it's hard for me, because I feel like I'm gonna want to repurchase this. But moving on, I have some shadows here. So this first shadow, this is coming out of my Walking on Eggshells trio here. I just drew on the top of the packaging. That's where the pan is showing in there. I'm just gonna be focusing on this light pink shade for this challenge. So that is what the pan looks like in there for the intro. And that is a swatch of the pink shade in there. I feel like this one is almost an exact dupe of the MAC eyeshadow in Naked Lunch, and I used to love that a lot. As you can see, I've used quite a bit out of there, but I just don't reach for this kind of light pink tone anymore. Obviously I'll have to start playing with it, but that is a swatch of the pink one there. It's really pretty. I'm sure I'll get right back into it when I start wearing it, but I would just like to use up some of my shadows and stuff. So got that one. And then the other eyeshadow is from my little Clinique duo here. Well, it has a blush in there too. I guess technically it's a trio, but I consider this a duo. So this nude shade in here, this like light purpley nude color, this one's called Nude Rose. And I do have pan in that. It's a very soft powder, so when you dip your brush in, it will puff up quite a bit. I just, you know, toss this either all over the lid or just puff it right into the crease area when I'm doing light makeup days. I put a little in there today. So that is where I'm starting with this product. I'll probably draw on the cap on the top lid of this too. I just spaced on doing that. So I'll draw on this before the next update. I have 3 mini black eyeliners, and they're so small, but I keep going back and forth between them and I don't stick to one of them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm adding in all 3 of these little black eyeliners, and I'm going to finish them off before the end of the year. I'm making that commitment. So this first one, I have the box for this first one. This one is the Lancome Drama Liquid Pencil. This is a kohl eyeliner, and it's supposed to be long wearing. I feel like this one, I have issues with this one because I feel like, yeah, it is waterproof, but if I put it in the waterline, it's weird. It like bunches up. I can't put shadow around it. It's hard to describe. I guess I just have issues with getting this into the waterline. Once it's in the waterline, it'll stay there all day, but getting it in there and getting it evenly on the waterline, I have issues. It's very hard to describe. I'm sorry. If you have any idea what I'm talking about with these pencils, if you tried them out and you had some issues with them, let me know. Or is this one just a little dried out maybe? I don't know. It's been like that since I had it, so I'm not sure. Then I have one of my favorite Jordana 12-hour made to last liquid eyeliner pencils. This one's in black point. I love these pencils. Love them. They're like $2.49 from Walgreens. And then this last one, this one's probably my favorite high-end black liner, specifically for the waterline. This one is the Too Faced Perfect Eyes waterproof eyeliner. I can't read if this has a specific shade, but I've had a couple of these in the past. I find it's very hard for me to spend 20 bucks on a black liner when I can just pick up one from the drugstore, like the Jordana ones, but these are really good. If you're in the market for a black waterline pencil, check out the Too Faced Perfect Eyes waterproof pencils. Then I have a mascara, so the full size. I opened this and I did not like it. I remember loving this mascara, and I left the cap open for about a week and it dried it out to the point where it's usable and I'm okay with using it. So this is the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara, and since I did leave it open and let it dry out for a week, I feel like it'll be gone sooner than if I hadn't have done that, but I just couldn't get the formula to work right. It just kept clumping, it wouldn't separate, it was just a mess. And I remember loving this. I've had this in a favorites before, so after I use this up, I don't think I'm gonna repurchase this just because of the hassle that I had with it this time. I have a couple lipsticks. This first one is from MAC. This is limited edition packaging. This came from a holiday collection. This one's in I Love Winter, and that is what the lipstick looks like there. I just marked on the cap on this one, and that is what I Love Winter looks like there. It's actually a pretty rosy nude. I like this one. I used to be scared of it because I thought it was way too dark, but I'll definitely be wearing this one for sure. So that is where I'm starting out with I Love Winter. I have one from L'Oreal that I had in a project previously, but this one's one of the L'Oreal Color Riche lipsticks in number 170, Cotton Pink. And again, I just drew on the packaging here. So that is where I'm starting with this one. That is really hard to see for you guys. I apologize, but it's just a very sheer, easy pink color. That is it there. And then the last actual lipstick that I'm adding in is one from Buxom, and I love these so much. This is my third lipstick in the shade from Buxom. This is one of the full-on lipsticks in the shade Sydney, and it kind of reminds me of the e.l.f. pencils, the matte lipsticks from e.l.f. But that is where I'm at, starting out with this one, and they have the same thing as the lip glosses. They feel very minty and plumping and cooling on the lips. The lipsticks do. That is a swatch of Sydney right there. Like I said, I've went through 2 of these in the past and a deluxe size of this. So I love this. Definitely recommend this if you're in the market for a new nude lipstick. I was trying to go in order of application to my face, but I totally forgot about this guy. It got knocked over and I didn't see it. So this one is a rollover from the Finish 13 by Halloween. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW15, and I'm starting for my Project 20 pan right down here. So I go back and forth with this product. I will buy it, I'll use it for a little bit, and then I'll put it off, and then I won't like how it sits on the face. And then when I start using it again, I really like it. So since I've been using this, I've started to enjoy it a lot better. Using it under the eyes specifically, I remember it used to crease on me like crazy. I don't know if I'm just hydrating my under eyes a little bit better now. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but it's working a lot better under the eye area and it doesn't crease for me anymore. So definitely excited to finish this one off. I have another MAC product. This one got tipped over too. Gosh dang it. So this is the MAC Mineralized Gloss in Modern Romance. And I am right there. When it's all settled, it looks like there's a ton of gloss in here, but I don't think it would take very long at all. It's not a very pigmented gloss. It's not nearly as sticky as the lip glosses from MAC. So that's the swatch of Modern Romance. It's kind of thin. It does have a slight sheen to it. It's really pretty though. I do like these glosses a lot and they smell delicious. I also have a lip balm from Sephora. This is their Super Nourishing Lip Balm. And I wrote on the packaging for this one as well. So that is where I'm at with this item here. I actually really like this. The smell of these lip balms reminds me of the Dior Lip Glow products, so I really like those. They're very thin and they're not waxy at all. I have a perfume. This is the Versace Yellow Diamond. Now I do have 2 markings on here. This markup here, just ignore that. That was from the beginning of the year. I'm trying to finish this off before the end of 2016, so for this project, I'm starting right here. This is this is a 1 fluid ounce bottle. And so if you look at the bottle, it flares out at the top. So I really feel like I'm over halfway finished up with this. I definitely think that I can have this moved out before the end of the year. It's definitely a fall and winter time scent. I can't wear this in the summertime. So anyway, starting right there for this one. Then I do have some other items. I have a setting spray. This is a Urban Decay All-Nighter XL. I picked this up right when they switched over their packaging, so they had a ton of these clearance down to really cheap, and I've just been using it slowly, but I really need to use it up because it's been around for a while. So I am all the way down to here in this product. As far as I can tell, I had to open up the container and eyeball where I'm at. So roughly I'm around right there. I don't use this every day, but I'm gonna have to start doing that. I also have a, what do you call this? Beehive perfumed lotion bar. This is the orange patchouli. I actually really like this. There's the packaging of it. I will put a mark on here. I'm starting right there at the top of that plastic thing. So for this, generally I will just put this on like my hands. I'll keep this in my purse and run it along my tattoo. I like to keep my tattoo just to have a slight sheen on it. So it's just a lotion bar. It just leaves a little bit of moisture on your skin. So I mean, you can't even see where I applied it, but it has a really nice scent to it, and I really like patchouli, so I shouldn't have an issue getting through this. I just don't know if I can finish it before the end of the year. I have a hairspray here, and this is the Suave Professional Touchable Finish. If I'm going to use a hairspray, I really like using one that's like a strong hold, that won't move, it just stays in place, stays where I put it. This one's a really ultra fine mist, so it's movable, and it doesn't look like you have hairspray in your hair, so I feel like it's not as firm of a hold as I like, but I'm working with it. I'm gonna try and finish it. So I'm right here. I'm gonna use this on my daughter too and see if I can get this out of here soon. I've had this kicking around for probably 2 years. I hope they still make this. I think they do. And then the last item I think is the Algenist Power Advanced Wrinkle Fighting Serum. And the only place that I can use this product is right on the smile lines. If I use it anywhere else on the face, I break out. I'm not quite sure why I can use it on the smile lines, but I know you're supposed to use this all over the face. I had really high hopes for this. I haven't seen any difference with this product, but I would like to use it all the way up and see if you use the entire thing over an extended period of time, if you do have any results. So anyway, there's that one. Hoping to finish it. I have no idea how much is in here, honestly, so when it runs out, it runs out. I've been using it for a while, but I use the finest, smallest little bit every time that I use it. So anyway, that is everything for this Project 20 pan. Let me know what projects and what challenges you're doing before the end of the year, and I will have an update in about 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.